Um, Fellow New Englander, Mr. Grandfield, sir, it's good seeing you today. I read with great interest your son Jim's article about your service in Korea. He had an unusual and interesting journey from enlisting in the Army in 1948 to being recalled to duty during the Korean War. World War II is the second World War that was supposed to end all wars. And here you were finding your way back into combat. What can you tell us about that experience and your service in and during the Korean War?
I think you are speaking to me, sir. I missed one word. I was rudely surprised when I was recalled because I took advantage of the 1948 Selective Service Act, which specifically provided that you could enlist for 1 year and fulfill your military obligation. What I did not realize is after that 1 year, you were automatically enrolled in the reserve. And so I fulfilled my 1 year obligation, was very happy to leave Fort Hood, Texas, and went back to college. And it was a rude surprise when I got the notice in the mail, we're calling you back. By then the Korean War had, and I got that notice in early to mid-September 1950. By then the Korean War was going pretty hot and heavy, and it was not going well for the US. So they were picking up all the people from the reserve who had skipped the reserve meetings as I did. And I got very scant retraining, I thought, at Fort Breckinridge, Kentucky for roughly 2.5 to 3 weeks. And then we were put on a troop train to Seattle. And from Seattle, we spent just a very few days and were then flown, which I thought was kind of foolish. We were, because of you can only carry so many men on a plane. We were flown to some air base in Alaska in an unheated plane, which is an experience I just as soon skip the next time. We landed in the outskirts of Tokyo, and that's when I first joined my unit, and I had no indication of what unit I would be assigned to. I was very fortunate. I was assigned to a heavy mortar platoon in the 27th Infantry Regiment, and little did I realize that I would be at least 800 yards behind the real front lines where the infantry guys were slugging it out with the communists. So I was very fortunate. I saw practically no real face-to-face combat. I did sit on the radio calling out up 50 and right 100 and so on, because the heavy mortar platoon was doing a lot of firing in those early months. And I can still clearly remember that nevertheless, for Thanksgiving 1950, the cooks in my company managed to serve a real Thanksgiving dinner to us, which I ate standing in the rain with the dirty water dripping off my helmet into my mashed potatoes. But I was hungry, so I ate it all.
Yeah, you know, the modern Army formations no longer have the heavy weapons companies as they were organized in the days that you served, especially during combat. As Jorge knows, my father commanded a heavy weapons company. They were because of the demanding terrain in Korea, they were very, very important. So that was quite an experience. The other thing I would mention, just like I have a connection through Jorge and his grandfather through my father's service in the 65th. Bob, I served in the 27th Infantry Regiment as a battalion commander, and I'm currently the honorary colonel of the 27th Infantry. They're known as the Wolfhounds, and I have a son-in-law who also served as a lieutenant in the Wolfhounds. And it's a very, very, very proud regiment. With during the Korean War, there were 2 Medal of Honor winners. Lou Millette was one of them, and he was a previous honorary colonel of the 27th Infantry. You know, what a great experience. And every soldier who has either been in combat or been out in the field can identify exactly with mashed potatoes. and we would have eaten them in much worse condition than what you had to experience as it was.